Now show me how it's gonna be. I've been waiting all night to give you what you need. Well, I can see it in the stars, it's a destiny. All right, all right, all right. What a wonderful day. What a wonderful opportunity. It's so good to be with you all today. My name is Coach Powell, and this is Coffee Tea, You and Me. I've been doing this program now for almost 20 years. I started off doing it at the local Panera Bread in my neighborhood, just getting together with entrepreneurs and business leaders every Friday, anytime from 2 o'clock until 4 o'clock, and sometimes 3 to 5, just giving them all the information, connecting them with all the people, helping them do everything they need to do to grow their business. Welcome to our series on encouragement. Encouragement is one of the most important things you could do. It's the most important things you could give. It's the most important things you can receive in order for you to feel like you need to feel in your business and in your life. Last week, we gave a broad overall view of what encouragement was all about and how you could use encouragement to empower yourself and empower others. And it was just a brief glimpse of what we're talking about. Today, we're going to take a deep dive. There's actually 3 elements of encouragement that I'm going to talk to you about over the next few weeks. We're going to talk about support, why support is so important. How do you give it? How do you receive it? We're going to talk about hope. How do you make sure that you have the highest, the most positive expectations out of yourself and others, so that you can preserve that energy and that perspective that you need to have to move things forward. And then lastly, we're going to talk about confidence. How do you share confidence? How do you give confidence? How do you create a confident environment around you? But today, we're going to talk about support first. So I hope you guys are ready. For those of you all who are tuning in for the first time, you might not know, but here's what I do. I encourage every single one of you to introduce yourself in the chat. Tell us who you are. Tell us where you're coming from. Tell us how you found us. If you found us on LinkedIn, if you found us on Facebook, if you found us on YouTube, definitely put that information in the chat. Even if you're watching it later on, it doesn't matter if you're here in the studio audience today, you're seeing this live, or you're participating later, because the chat is still going to be active and it's going to be live no matter what we do later on. So definitely do that. If you have a question about anything related to your business or anything you'd like for me to talk about or share in future episodes of this program, I definitely want you to put that in the chat as well. I want you to engage as much as possible. I'm going to ask you some questions. If you can put your information, if you feel comfortable, put your information in the chat, or put the thoughts or ideas that you may generate in the chat. And that's going to be amazing for everybody who pays attention. So I want you to know that this is a group sport, right? We're all in this thing together. I don't want you to think of this is a talking head. I'm just going to, watch a lecture or something like that, because that's not what we try to do. Lectures are boring, and they're good for passing information and facts, but they're not good for engaging. They're not good at creating the energy you have to create to move yourself forward. And that's what I'm all about. If anybody tells you anything about me, I always say, Marvin's all about moving forward. We're all about making sure that you have the tools, the techniques, the strategies, and the people around you to move yourself forward. In fact, I'm creating a whole conference. So if you're interested, on October 1st, make sure you get your ticket to our virtual business conference. This thing is going to be super fantastic. It's going to be absolutely amazing. I'm bringing the best speakers from several different areas. We're going to talk about cryptocurrency for business. We're going to talk about the new CHIPS Act and how that's going to affect semiconductors and manufacturing. We're going to talk about alternative sources of finance. We're going to talk about everything you need to move your business forward in the non-traditional ways, because we know all of the traditional ways and we have easy access to that kind of stuff. But I'm going to have pros talking to you about all kinds of various different ideas and obstacles. If you have a business idea or something that you can share to uplift and promote the small business community, definitely plug in with me. Let me know. Text me, chat with me, direct message me. Do whatever you need to do to communicate, because that's an important aspect of all collaboration. And again, that's one of the things I'm about as well. And finally, for those of you who know, I also am a big time leader in the Roundtable. There's a group that my partner and I put together years ago. And the Roundtable is a great opportunity for us to come together, for business leaders, entrepreneurs, and business leaders to come together on a weekly basis to support each other, to care for one another, to share ideas with one another, and figure out ways that we can find opportunities to collaborate, to encourage, and to communicate more effectively with one another. Because I'm a big believer in community. I'm a big believer in that, and the community today is global. So that means you could be a part of the roundtable anywhere, anytime you want. So if you want more information about the roundtable, definitely connect with me on LinkedIn, connect with me on Facebook, follow me on Twitter, all that kind of good stuff, because I continue to post that information for everybody and make everything free and easily accessible to as many as I possibly can, using all the social media platforms that I can. So definitely follow me, check me out, look me up. My name is Marvin Coach Powell. Nobody looks like me except me. And so you'll be able to see me. I try to put my face on everything. And so you'll recognize me from all that kind of good stuff. Okay. I'm going to have a brief commercial message, and then we are going to come right back and get right into the groove of today's program. So if I can just find my own commercial messages, life would be really, really good. Ha, there we go. Okay, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, children of all ages, welcome to Coffee, Tea, You and Me, where the party is always rolling. Every Friday from 3 to 5, we try to make sure we are doing all that we can to educate, inform, create a supportive environment for entrepreneurs, business leaders, small women-owned, minority-owned businesses specifically, so that they know that they're not alone, so they know that they have every opportunity in front of them to move things forward. I try to make sure I keep the latest and the greatest information in front of you all, and I talk to you about the things that really, really matter to you and your business. Today we're talking about, and we're continuing the series, we're talking about encouragement, right? So last week we gave a broad overview of what encouragement was all about. We help you understand the subtleties of encouragement, and we're going to continue today, but we're going to take a deep dive into one of the three aspects of encouragement. And the first, the most important aspect of encouragement is this notion of support. So I want you to think with me for a minute. When was the last time you felt truly supported? Truly, like somebody would pick you up if you stumbled. Like if you needed some help, you knew exactly who to call. And this, if you could tell me in the chat whether yes or no you felt supported at any time in your life. If you have, go ahead and say yes in the chat. If you haven't, that's okay. You can ignore the situation. But I want you to start to think about when you felt supported in your life and what that experience might have been like. I'll tell you, for me, there was a time, as this is really, really important for me, because I'll never forget it. There was a time, and I was in college, and I went to Kent State University, and I was trying to come up with my tuition dollars. It was just a very trying time for me. The magic wasn't working. Things weren't coming together the way they normally came together. And I found myself, getting calls from the bursar's office, and I'm sitting in my dorm room, and I'm like, okay, how am I going to make this? How am I going to get this money? I'm already working as hard as I can work. I'm already, producing as much as I can produce, and I've paid all that I have to pay. So what am I going to do? Because if they release me from my classes, and they're going to kick me out of the dorm, and I'm going to have to figure out, how to get home, and this is going to be bad, because, student loans start kicking in and all kinds of stuff. So I'm like, okay, how am I going to figure this out? So, I reached out for the people that love me the most. I'll call my parents. And I said, Mom and Dad, I know you guys don't have this money. And I don't know what to do. I don't know where to go. I don't know how to even think about resolving this problem. Do you have any ideas? And my mother said, call your grandmother. Now, I never thought in a million years that my grandparents were in a position to come up with the kind of cash that was required to get me over the hump and to finish off the last bit of my tuition. I mean, I called in all the scholarships. I got all that squared away. I got all the grant money I was going to get. I put all my personal money in I could possibly put in. Everything my parents could kick in, they kicked in already. My mom said, call your grandmother. And I thought, oh my God, this is so embarrassing. This is so hard. I can't call grandma. I just can't do it. She said, no, you should call your grandmother. And I did. I called my grandmother. And I said, Grandma, and I blamed it on my mother. I said, Grandma, I'm calling you because Mom told me to call you. I wouldn't call you otherwise, but Mom told me to call you. And she gave me, she said to me that don't worry about it. It'll be taken care of. Just call your grandmother. And my grandmother said something to me, and it was quick and easy. She didn't say much. She said, you know what? I'm going to talk to your grandfather, and I'll call you right back. I was like, there's hope. There's hope here. Wait a minute. She didn't say no. She didn't say you must be crazy. She didn't say you out of your mind. She said, boy, she didn't say anything negative to me at all. She just opened up that door and said, you know what, I'm going to talk to your grandfather, and I'll call you right back. Now, she didn't say we got you or anything like that. So there was still a little bit of anticipation left in that situation. But she did that. She talked to my grandfather. She called right back. She said, the check will be coming to you in a couple of days. Can you wait till then? And I said, what? She said, the check will be coming to you in a couple of days. Can you wait till then? Now, little did I know that my grandmother had taken out a life insurance policy on my life when I was an infant, and she'd been stacking money in that thing for years. Like $1 every month or so, whatever. I don't know what the premium was ridiculously small, but she just been stacking little monies away. She said, you know what? One day Marvin's going to need this money. And if he doesn't need it, then he'll have it as a death benefit. If he does need it, then we'll take it out and we'll use it while he's alive. And I thought, wow, my grandparents did that for me and finished off my college tuition, allowed me to have my senior year and finish it up. And that was a great thing. But that's what support is all about. You're never sure where your support may come from, especially when you need it the most. But I hope the lesson that you learned from the story that I just told you is that you can never be afraid to ask for support. You can never be afraid to reach out to those, especially those who love you, for the support that you need. Now, things are much easier when you do a couple of things that we're going to talk about today, right? It's much easier when they already believe in you. It's much easier when they already know you, they already understand you, they already know what you're all about, and they have hopes for you themselves. It's much easier for them to lend their support. And we're talking about support, right? So support looks like people giving you time. Maybe sometimes they're giving you time back from the time they're committing to you. Sometimes people are giving you talent, maybe their expertise, their abilities, their capabilities, their relationships, the values that they've been able to accomplish over the years, they can transfer to you through their talent, right? And sometimes it's their treasure. Sometimes it's the value of their money. It's the value of their assets. It's the value of the things they've been able to accomplish that are valuable enough to in some way be leveraged on your behalf. So time, talent, and treasure. These are the things that people can give to support you. And they're also the things that you can give to support others. So I'm going to suggest to you that in order for you to receive the kind of support that you need to receive from others, you have to be willing to give support to them. And then you have to be willing to do it in some super creative ways, because you can't always write the check. You can't always give the time that is required. But there are several ways that you can support people. And when you think about support, I don't want you to think about it in just this myopic, linear process, because support can come for all the areas in your life where you may need it, right? You may need, think about the four quadrants or the four qualities of your life, right? Your heart, your mind, your spirit, your body. Some people say mind, heart, body, soul, right? These are the elements that make up you and all of you. And, you can experience weakness in one of those areas that will affect the other areas. We already know, science is already in. When you're not well mentally, it's going to take a toll on your physical makeup. It's going to take a toll on your body at some point in time. It's definitely going to take a toll on your mental acuity and how you think, right? It's going to take a toll on your relationships and the people around you. It's going to take a toll on your spiritual development and your connection to the universe and to others. So it's critically important that when you think about support, you don't think about it in just this one area. Think about it in all the critical areas that you need. Think about the support in the roles that you play. We all play various roles in our lives. Some of us are mothers, fathers, uncles, cousins. Some of us are business owners, entrepreneurs. Some of us are leaders in our community, right? Some of us are fathers. And those are things that all of us have roles. And all those roles need support, no matter what they are, because we desperately need one another. And the only way we can get the support we need is from each other. And so when you think about these things, you got to think about how you are delivering on the support, the care and feeding of others, and how are you getting the support that you need from others. This is professionally, this is personally, this is everything. This is human, right? It's human nature to need the support. In fact, the best we can do by ourselves in almost anything is be okay. But if you want to be great, right? If you want to thrive in any area of your life, it is literally impossible for you to do it alone. Even if you reach a level of expertise, you can't thrive without others. Classic example, think about the greatest musicians that you know, right? They were great musicians in and of themselves in their own right. They were okay musicians in and of themselves in their own right, but they are only great with the support of others. It is the adoration of the crowd that helped them understand along the years what they were doing well and what they weren't doing well. It helped them make adjustments to go, okay, I'm going to play things this way because I know this has this effect and people enjoy this better if I do it this way than if I do it that way. And each of them, they're all creative, right? They try whatever creative things they have to bring to the table. But once they find that sweet spot, that unique thing that makes them them, and they get the love and the respect, and then they just get better at that, and over and over. And it happens in every industry. It happens in every art form. It happens in every part of the culture. Expertise is honed out of the feedback that we get from others. It's impossible to hone your expertise by yourself. Hell, I get feedback every day. I get feedback all the time. I'm constantly looking for feedback. If you guys have feedback on how to make the show better, give it to me. I'm looking for it because it's important, right? That's the support. That's a way of supporting, is giving you the feedback. But make sure that you're open to the feedback, because if you're not open to the feedback, then people don't have a way of pouring into you, of helping you reap the flower, reap what you've sown in terms of the contributions that you've made. But you've got to be that's where that reaping is. It's in the feedback, whether that's hand clap or praise, or whether that's an attaboy or way to go, or whether that's just participating, I'm engaged and I'm all the way in with you. That feedback is critically important. It took me a while to get used to doing this, or what I'm doing right now, because I'm not getting a ton of feedback. And I need to have the experience from the crowd to know that, that things are going as well as I think they're going. So I have to wait now. That's the feedback that's going to come. It's going to come much later, after, a million views, or, something has happened, and it helps me understand that people are into, what we're putting down and what we're delivering. But that's a very important aspect to all that we do. So I want you to stay relevant, and I want you to stay meaningful. I want you to stay significant. In order for you to do that, you have to be willing to give and receive support. I'm going to read a couple things from you, and then I'm going to talk to you a little bit about the benefits of support, but I'm going to talk to you some more about support in terms of the research that I've done and the information that I put together for you that I will share with anybody who is looking for it. So if you ask me, follow the information that's scrolling across the screen. Hit me up on an email or chat, or text me, or area that you need to be enabled and empowered financially or even emotionally, you need support. We all need some level of support for something or some reason, for people to hold us up, to shore up our weaknesses, and possibly even expand our strengths. But when you have this good support, when you have the support and it's adequate, you know that you not only have the favor of the people that are on your side, you have their assistance. And that assistance can come for a short period of time or a long period of time. Now, obviously, if it comes from a long period of time, people that are supporting you, these are people who really believe in you. And they're not going to abandon you because you failed or you slipped or you stumbled. No. They're going to still be with you. And you trying to cover up the failure or the mistake is probably not going to be conducive to creating more support from them. So you're going to want to be open and honest with the people especially people that are in your inner circle, that you need to be vulnerable with them if you really want to get the support from them that you can get from them, and they're going to have to do the same. And so there's got to be a serious level of communication and a serious commitment to being together that's going to make that support work. Amy Poehler, who's an amazing author, wrote this, and I love this quote, so I'm going to share it with you. I want to be around people that do things. I don't want to be around people anymore that just judge or talk about what people do. I want to be around people that dream and support and do things. I would suggest that should be your yearning as well. You should want to be around people that are engaged, people that are supportive, people that are making things happen, because that's going to inspire you. All that being around you is going to inspire you to do the same. If you find yourself around people that are not supportive, if you find yourself being around people who are not doing anything with themselves, with their lives, or their businesses, their families, when you find yourself being around people who don't dream of a better situation, run from them, because you don't have the time to waste on people who are not on the way. My good fraternity brother used to tell me all the time, and this is a saying that went throughout my chapter at Kent State University when I was a young undergrad. And the saying was, if you're not on the way, you're in the way. And I carried that with me for the rest of my life, because I realized that how important it is to be around people who are moving forward and to help and inspire others to move forward, always moving forward. Because when you're not moving forward, you're not growing. And if you're not growing, you're not doing what you're supposed to be doing. You're supposed to be growing and all the roles that there is, and all the aspects in your character that I talked about earlier. You're supposed to be growing in these areas. And if you're not, what are you doing? Now, I'm not saying always be working, but I am saying, even when you're in your off time, don't just take it as a distraction away from the things that are valuable to you. Use it to renew yourself. Use it as an opportunity to gather your strength. Use it as an opportunity to become better at what it is that you need to do in any of the roles that you play. Don't just waste that time with a diversion, because a diversion can easily become an excuse for a lack of productivity, performance, or meaning. It can become an easy tactic that you could use to fall into all types of addictive behaviors, because they're much more interesting, much more fun, and much more satisfying in the moment than think about how you can strengthen yourself for the long haul. I understand that. But and you're gonna need some just basic diversions. Like, there's nothing wrong with taking a break, just being nothing for a little while. But figure out how you're going to strengthen yourself and how you're going to get back on that bike and how you're going to keep pushing forward, right? Second quote I want to share with you is from 1 Thessalonians. It's in the Bible. Chapter 5, verse 11 says, "Therefore encourage one another and build one another up just as you are doing." Now, if you know anything about, the Bible, you know that Paul wrote Thessalonians, and he was writing to encourage and inspire early Christians on, hanging in there and continuing to do the work that they were called to do. They felt called to do. And Paul felt it was important to make sure he told people, build one another up. So I take that as meaning, we should all be doing that all the time. We should all be thinking about ways that we can build each other up. In fact, when I'm having renewal time or restoration time, I'm usually thinking about what I can do to help somebody else. I'm not thinking about playing. I'm thinking about how I can help use my talent and my skills and the knowledge that I've been able to have, or the connections that I've been able to have, for the benefit of someone else. That to me is what life is all about. It's really about building others up, because I know that if that's my reputation, if that's my orientation or my contribution to the world, then I know that's going to come back to me. I have belief and faith that that's going to come back to me in much bigger ways than I could ever imagine. And of course, I dream big and I imagine big things, right? I want big things. But I also know that if those big things that I dream about never come to fruition, every day, every moment I have is a moment that I was graced to have, is a moment that I was blessed to have, not promised to have, but I get to have. And so I'm going to try to do everything I can with every moment that I have to do as much good and put as much into the universe as I possibly can, make as much contribution that I possibly can. And, in this space, I don't want to leave a small footprint. I don't want to leave a small contribution. I want to leave a big footprint. So unlike in the carbon formations and all that kind of stuff, I don't want to leave you want to leave a small footprint, right? No. In the world of support, I want to leave a big footprint, a huge footprint. Hopefully, that'll last for generations. That's my endeavor, is to do so much good that the good outlives me in as many ways as is possible. Think about that. Isn't that the gift that Paul is talking about? Is about building each other up. And he also says, just as you're doing, which means keep it going. Don't stop. In fact, I'm going to take it up another notch and say, why not get better? You want to build people up, but you want to be good at it. You want to contribute, you want to support one another, but you want to be good at it. Because the better you become at it, the better others become at it, the better, more supportive environment we have for everyone. The more we're able to do, the more we're able to be. That's just the way of the way of human nature, the gift of the universe. And you can spend time in woe is me and despair. You can spend time in shame, blame, fear, or all manner of negative emotions. But the sooner you get control of those things and start to experience the gratitude and the gratefulness and the sheer magnitude of the blessings that you have in your own life every day, then the more you can start to think about what's going on that's powerfully positive in your day, in your life. For those of you who know me, I'm getting older. I'm starting to experience some arthritis. And it's quite painful at times. But that doesn't mean that I'm in pain all the time. And even when I am in pain, it's not such a debilitating pain that I can't experience the joy and the happiness of a good bowl of ice cream every once in a while, or a nice smoothie, nice fruit, a nice healthy fruit smoothie, or something like that. I can't experience a wonderful show. Now I may have to go sit down and find a way to find a comfortable chair that puts this big 6'5" frame in it, but I can enjoy a wonderful show. I can read a great book. I can, do all manner of things that don't require necessarily running around. And even to a certain extent, I can do that if I got my knee brace and I get loaded up with I get my biofreeze. This is a commercial. I get loaded up with my biofreeze. I take my right medication, and then I could get back to the old me. But the thing about that, all of that is, being grateful, being thankful for what you can do, who you are, who you do love, and what's around you is something that's very, very important. So here's the kind of exercises that I'm gonna share with you that are really about developing the support that you need to develop in your life and your business. And I'm gonna share with these exercises over the next few minutes. And if you would like to try them out, go ahead and try them out. I'd be interested to figure out or to hear how they work for you. I know they're gonna work for you, all right, because they're already been tried and true and tested. But I want you to think about how they might work for you. Number one, understand that vision is a vital thing, right? It's critically important to your being able to get the support that you need. If you don't have a vision for where you're going and what your aspirations are and what you want to achieve in life, and this is not acts of desperation or hope or anything. This is just I want to do this. I want to receive this. I want to accomplish this. I want to be about this. It's not goals. Vision and goals are totally different because they come from two totally different sides of the brain, and their motivations are different as well. Vision is that determination that you're going to move towards a destination. You're going to move towards a destiny. You're going to move towards something that in the long run, you're not sure about exactly how to get there. And you're going to need the help from others. Guaranteed you. For vision, you got to do that. So you have to be able to articulate your vision. And your vision doesn't have to be crystal clear. It's going to be foggy, but you still got to talk about it. And it's got to be open. It's got to be wide open. It's got to be something that, is at least earth-shattering to you. And then as you share it with other people are going to find, they're going to go, wow. Some people are going to go, wow, that's great. That's amazing. Some people are going to be so impressed and so excited about that vision that they want to jump on board. They want to help you. But you have to be able to articulate your vision. Where are you going? 10, 15, 20 years from now. Where are you going? Where are you going to be? What you going to have that you don't have today? Think about all that. And I've got a wonderful Vision Quest strategic guide that I'll be willing to give to anybody who wants it. It's definitely embedded in this document. So when I finish the document that we're talking about for the training for the day, that'll be there. But the Vision Quest strategic guide is something I put together to help people capture the elements they need to capture to begin to articulate their future vision. Even if they don't think they have one, you follow the questions, you follow the format in the Vision Quest guide, and you're going to start to come up with the rudimentary elements that you're going to need to have to put together a winning case, to put together an idea, concept that other people are going to go and get it. You're going to get to be excited about, most importantly, but you're going to be able to transfer that excitement to others and motivate them to jump on board with what you're doing. Now, it's not going to work for everybody. It's only going to work for those who feel called to participate and engage with you. And it's not for you to determine who's going to feel called. It is for you to share the vision as widely and as many as you possibly can. So try that. All right, that's a wonderful thing. That's step one. Exercise number 2. Keep a rolling list of people that you believe that if you shared your vision with them in an adequate way, that they would then become enabled to support and empower whatever it is that you're trying to do or be or have. Right? This rolling list of top 10 people. I keep a rolling list myself. And as as I start to become, as I mature the relationship with that person, and it might take 2 or 3 years to mature that relationship. As I mature the relationship, I bring new people onto the list. I take them off the list and I bring new people onto the list. That way, that rolling list is continuing to grow. Sometimes I get some feedback from others on who I should have on my list. Sometimes I do my research and my homework, and I come up with the people I should have on my list. But the whole goal of having the list is to give you a small window of people that you want to consistently work towards as you consistently grow towards your vision. All right. So you don't want to just get your 10 and stop right there. You want to get your 10, and as the most mature person on that list, you then knock them off the list and then add a new person on. And then keep doing that and keep doing that over and over and over and over again. At the end of whatever journey you're in, you're going to have thousands of people who are in your corner, who you've decided that they fit in the certain space within your network. They're either your inner circle, they're your secondary circle, they're their tertiary circle. These are people that you know, like, and trust, and they know, like, and trust you back. And the connection is either a tight, useful connection, or it's a loose connection. But those are still things that you can leverage. The people that you don't know, like, and trust can't be in your circle. They can't be in your network because they can become toxic to you really, really easily. So you want to avoid that. So keep that rolling list and keep that list fresh. Number 3, you're going to have to be inquisitive about the real needs of the people in your network outside of the professional stuff. Because the professional stuff, yes, you need to know how to help them be better at whatever it is they want to do. You got to get involved with those conversations. You got to have those conversations, but you also have to know what other stuff is important to them and what they need to do to maximize the potential and the effects of those opportunities, those relationships, those businesses, those whatever it is, interests that they might have. You have to be interested in the things that your people in your network are interested in, to the extent that you can find ways to either use your network to help them or use your own talents and gifts to help them. But the only way for you to know is for you to be inquisitive enough to find out. Now, this is a difficult one for some of you all, because I know I'm an introvert myself and I get this. You don't want to be so nosy that, you come off as nosy, or so inquisitive that you come off as a stalker, like, oh, you're asking all these personal questions, kind of stuff. But you do want to use a format. And I guarantee you, I've created a format that works. It works all the time. If you present it well and you use it well, it's always going to lead you to the results where people are going to open up to you in ways that they don't open up to anybody else. And that is True Voice. True Voice is the great opportunity for you to do that. And again, that's a document that's another training program that I have is buried in this document that I'm reading from right now. And again, if anybody wants a sample of that, want to talk about that, feel free to give me a call. Feel free to let me know. I'll share it with you liberally. I have nothing to hold back. It's something I think is useful for the world, and so I created it for the world for that reason. Number 4, you need to develop affirmation statements. Statements that help you remain committed to the chosen people, to the chosen profession, to the values and principles that you hold dear, because you need to stay focused on these things. And if you have your affirmation statements and you're reading them constantly and regularly before you do your planning for the day, the month, the year, or the week, whatever, you're going to make sure that you're in front of the best of you at all possible times. So whenever you're getting ready to go into a high negotiations, read your affirmation statements. Whenever you're going to go for a big proposal, read your affirmation statements. Whenever you're gonna, because you need that fuel, that energy from that thought or feeling of the best of yourself in you as you approach everything. That will enable you to stay positive. That will enable you to create a supportive environment around you, because you're going to exude, whatever you need to exude emotionally and socially from your affirmation statements. It's critically important that you do that. And number 5, one of the best ways to develop the support and environment around you that you need with your stakeholders, with your referral sources, with your highest customers, with your family members that are that you really consider and trust in your inner circle. These are the people that you're going to make a list of all of your talents. Take that list, try to get as much as you can on that list, 20 to 25 different skills and talents that you know that you have. And then I want you to rank them. Take it over a 2-week period of time, take it over a month, however long it takes you to get it all done. But I want you to rank them and come up with the top 10. These are my top 10 talents, my top 10 skills. And I want you to be able to share those skills and those talents. And some of them are going to be soft skills. They're going to be stuff like, I'm a really good presenter. I'm a really good communicator. I listen a lot. I research. I'm good with research. I know how to gather information and data and then share with other people. I'm pretty good with that kind of stuff. These are things you're going to come. These are not necessarily going to be hard skills that you might need for your profession, but they might be. They might make your top 10. Who knows? But the point is, when you share your skills and your qualities and your capabilities, and where you're credible, where you have the most amount of integrity with others now know how they can make a best benefit of what you can bring to the table. Now, why don't we think people do stuff like this? A lot of times they don't because they're fearful. They don't because they're ashamed, or they're not sure that the talent that they think they have, they actually have. They haven't done a good job of looking for the feedback they needed to look for to validate and to give themselves the credibility that they need to have. And so because they've been sort of in the box, they've been by themselves. And the whole point of this is, if the more support that you need, the more you're going to have to give. You're going to have to get out your own box, stay out of your own way, and give the support that you know that you can give to the people that will receive it well. Don't worry about what's coming back to you. I promise you, the good stuff is going to come back to you. If you follow the 5 exercises that I just shared with you, I promise you, you're going to be living the life that, you can't even imagine. It's going to be so amazing, so empowering. So next week, we're going to be talking about confidence. We're going to talk about how you get how do you create the kind of confidence that you need to create in order to feel good about whatever it is you're doing, and how do you help others create the kind of confidence that they have to create in order to do the same. This has been a great program, a great show, a great opportunity. I love talking to you guys. I love doing this every week. Coffee Tea, You and Me is an opportunity for us to come together, for us to share, for us to create the wisdom that we need to create. And I want to be there for you, and I hope you're there for each other. Definitely keep the information flowing in the chat. Keep responding. Keep answering the questions. And again, if you need any help, any support, my information is coming across the screen. And so you'll be able to find me, you'll be able to contact me. This is Coach Powell. I'm signing out. We had a great time, and I hope you did too.